I want to end by saying a few words about the men and women. In this room whose job it is to inform the public and pursue the truth. You know, we meet tonight at a moment of extraordinary challenge for this nation and for the world. But it's also a time of real hardship for the field of journalism. And like so many other businesses in this global age, you've seen sweeping changes and technology. And communications that lead to a sense of uncertainty and anxiety about what the future will hold. Across the country, there are extraordinary, hard-working journalists who have lost their jobs in recent days, recent weeks, recent months. And I know that each newspaper and media outlet is wrestling with how to respond to these changes. And some are struggling simply to stay open. And it won't be easy. Not every ending will be a happy one. But it's also true that your ultimate success as an industry is essential to the success of our democracy. It's what makes this thing work. You know, Thomas Jefferson once said that if he had the choice between a government without newspapers, or newspapers without a government, he would not hesitate to choose the latter. Clearly, Thomas Jefferson never had cable news to contend with, but his central point remains. A government without newspapers, a government without a tough and vibrant media of all sorts. Is not an option for the United States of America. So I may not agree with everything you write or report. I may even complain, or more likely Gibbs will complain, from time to time about how you do your jobs. But I do so with the knowledge that when you are at your best, then you help me be at my best. You help all of us who serve. At the pleasure of the American people, do our jobs better by holding us accountable, by demanding honesty. By preventing us from taking shortcuts and falling into easy political games that people are so desperately weary of. And that kind of reporting is worth preserving, not just for your sake, but for the public's. We count on you to help us make sense of a complex world and tell the stories of our lives the way they happen. And we look for you for truth, even if it's always an approximation, even if this is a season of renewal and reinvention. That is what government must learn to do, that's what businesses must learn to do. And that's what journalism is in the process of doing. And when I look out at this room and think about the dedicated men and women whose questions I've answered over the last few years, I know that for all the challenges this industry faces, it's not short on talent or creativity or passion or commitment. It's not short of young people who are eager to break news or the not so young who still manage to ask the tough ones time and time again. These qualities alone will not solve all your problems. But they certainly prove that the problems are worth solving. And that is a good place as any to begin. So I offer you my thanks, I offer you my support, and I look forward to working with you and answering to you and the American people as we seek a more perfect union in the months and years ahead. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Barack Obama. White House Correspondents' Dinner Address 2010. Delivered May 1, 2010, Washington Hilton Hotel, Washington, D. C. Thank you so much, Ed. And to all the other board members, to honored guests, and to the lovely First Lady. Good evening. Ed is right, I work a lot. And so I wasn't sure that I should actually come tonight. Biden talked me into it. He leaned over and he said, Mr. President, this is no ordinary dinner. This is a big beef meal. It's been quite a year since I've spoken here last. Lots of UPS. Lots of downs except for my approval ratings, which have just gone down. But that's politics. It doesn't bother me. Beside, I happen to know. That my approval ratings are still very high in the country of my birth. And then just the other day, my dear friend, Hillary Clinton, pulled me aside and she gave me a pep talk. She said, despite the numbers, she said, don't worry. Barack, you're likable enough. Which made me feel better. Of course I may not have had the star power that I once had, but in my defense, neither do all of you. People say to me, Mr. President, you helped revive the banking industry, you saved GM and Chrysler. What about the news business? I have to explain. Hey, I'm just the president. I'm not a miracle worker, here. Though I am glad that the only person whose ratings fell more than mine last year is here tonight. Great to see you, Jay. I'm also glad that I'm speaking first. Because we've all seen what happens when somebody takes the time slot after Lino's. Jay Leno, good night, everybody. President Obama, by the way, all of the jokes here tonight are brought to you by our friends at Goldman Sachs. So you don't have to worry, they make money whether you laugh or not. We do have a number of notable guests in attendance here tonight. Obviously, I'm most pleased that Michelle accompanied me. She doesn't always go to these things. And there are few things in life that are harder to find and more important to keep than love well. Love and a birth certificate. The Jonas Brothers are here. They're out there somewhere. Sasha and Malia are huge fans. But, boys. Don't get any ideas. I have 2 words for you, predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking? Speaking of tween heartthrobs, Scott Brown is here. I admire Scott, a rare politician in Washington with nothing to hide. Now, you should be aware that Scott Brown is not the only one with a salacious photo spread floating around. Recently, David Axelrod was offered a centerfold opportunity of his own now. I did not know that Krispy Kreme had a catalog. But it's true. I saw Michael Steele backstage when we were taking pictures, aka Notorious GOP. Michael, who knows what truly plagues America today? Taxation without representin' my brother. I did a similar routine last year, but it always works. Odds are that the Saudis are here. There haven't been people that were more unwelcome at a party since Charlie Crist. Unfortunately, John McCain couldn't make it. Recently he claimed that he had never identified himself as a maverick. And we all know what happens in Arizona when you don't have ID. Adios, amigos. Look, I feel for John. You know, we were on the road together and obviously had a hard-fought battle. And you learn, certainly at the national level, politics isn't easy. This year I've experienced my share of disappointments. For example, I had my heart set on the Nobel Prize for Physics. But, hey, you can't win 'em all. Speaking of undeserved honors, a few weeks ago I was able to throw out the first pitch at the Nationals game. And I don't know if you saw it, but I threw it a little high and a little outside. This is how Fox News covered it: President panders to extreme left wing of batter box. On the other hand, MSNBC had a different take: President pitches no-hitter. And then CNN went a different way altogether. Video shown about volcano eruption in Iceland. I guess that's why they're the most trusted name in news. Now, look, I have a reputation for giving cable a hard time, so let's pick on Politico for a while. You know, people attack Politico for putting a new focus on trivial issues, political fodder. Gossip sheet. That's not fair. Politico has been doing this for centuries now. Just check out these headlines. Our researchers found these. Japan surrenders, where's the bounce? Then there's this one, Lincoln saves Union, but can he save House majority? I don't know if you can see. There's a little portion there, he's lost the southern white vote. It's an astute analysis there. And my favorite, July 3, 1776, senior Whig official, talks breakdown, independence dead. So this is nothing new. But even though the mainstream press gives me a hard time, I hear that I'm still pretty big on Twitter. Facebook, or as Sarah Palin calls it, the socialized media. Of course, that's not the only thing that we've been accused of socializing this year. You might have heard we passed a healthcare bill, and is that Roger Ailes applauding out there? Some Republicans have suggested that the bill contains a few secret provisions. That's ridiculous. There aren't a few secret provisions in the healthcare plan, there are, like, hundreds. Tonight, in the interest of transparency, I'd like to share a couple. Let's see, this provision is called the base state of denial. It reads, this bill shall cover short-term memory loss. Related to the passage of Massachusetts healthcare reform. So, good news, MIT, your condition is covered.